You know, one of the most frequently asked questions I get is, what hours can I trade the Micro E-minis? A lot of people want to give them a try, but they're not available during what we call regular daytime hours. Eastern time, the market's open 9:30 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. And you can trade these Micro E-minis, the good news is, about 6 days a week, Sunday through Friday, for about 23 hours a day. So if you have to get up at 4 in the morning and want to check the markets before you go, 4 in the morning can be a perfect time because that's when the European market opens, and there's a lot of activity usually in those first couple of hours of a European market opening. Now that would be like 4 to 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. And overnight trading on the Globex is automatic too. I'll tell you how that works in a moment. Now these four charts look like they could be almost the same chart. You see the MACD in the bottom pane and the prices in the upper pane. They were all taken on the same day, and they go from about, this is Eastern Time, from about 3:15 in the morning over on the left side. And they go all the way out until about 9:15, just before the day session opens. So what we're looking at here is basically 3 a.m. to 9 a.m., the overnight hours. And the four charts, of course, are the four Micro E-mini contracts. And we'll be taking a look at each of them in a moment. But before I do that, I have to warn you, there is a danger about trading these hours. And I'll tell you how it happened. I woke up one morning at about 3:30, and I knew the European markets are going to open at 4 a.m. This is Eastern Time. Now, I went in, and at 4 o'clock when they opened, I saw a good trend, not on these charts, but this happened several months before. I went in, I found a great trade, and something I never expected. I made about $275 in about 15 minutes in the middle of the night, between 4 o'clock in the morning and 4:30 in the morning. Okay, the trade was over, but I gotta tell you, I made a huge mistake. I was so excited, I went in, I shook my wife and woke her up, and she said, "What is it?" And I said, "I just made $275. She said, "Do you know what time it is?" I said, "Yes, it's 4:30 in the morning." And it was the middle of the night. She made some reference to where the sun doesn't shine. You can figure it out. So here's the DJIA of those four charts, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m. And look down on the bottom pane there. See the MACD? We got a sell signal there. And over here we have a buy signal. Now notice I'm not paying very much attention to whether those crossovers are above or below the zero line. That's because I'm not trading in the day session. Now it doesn't mean that that's going to be correct all the time, but there's not as much volume during the night when you trade these things. So you can go by the crossovers. I usually do. You can do what you please, of course, without considering whether it's above or below the zero line. And you can see the patterns on all four of the Micro E-minis look virtually the same, including the MACD trade signal indicator down there too. So it's a good time to keep an eye on things. If you're up in the middle of the night, just don't wake anybody up. My book has over 200 5-star reviews, and that's good because it means the book is working. Thousands of people have purchased this book and used it to learn day trading the Micro E-minis. Check out the book link in the text below this video where you can see the table of contents. Did I mention it costs less than a Chick-fil-A with waffle potatoes? I tell you all the time here on the channel about the risk involved in this kind of trading, and that it isn't for everyone. You have to be able to afford to put some money aside you can use in a higher risk type of trading. And there's the three most common mistakes is what I'd like to talk to you about right now. The first is overtrading. People want to learn, they want to jump in, they want to make money, they're excited, they want to have some fun, and all those things are wonderful. But overtrading is a big killer for accounts. I'm sorry to tell you, but most of the time when you spend an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever time intervals you may have, most of the time you're not going to be trading. You're going to be looking for low risk opportunities to trade, and you're going to be thinking about how to size them up, how to enter the order, how to get the trade underway, and then the part that comes from between your ears, how you're going to manage that trade during the trade to keep the risk down even more. But over trading is the biggest account killer out there. The second most common mistake is what I call hopscotching. That's the person who they're very sincere about learning how to day trade and surviving, but they have the impression that if they keep changing their setup, changing their indicators, changing from bar to candlesticks, or adding indicator on indicator, and every time they read an article or see a video, they're changing the way that they trade. And that's why they never can learn it, because it's changing. The way the human brain works is repetition. You have to find a way to trade, and I suggest those things here on the channel, and then you have to practice it. And you have to practice it until you can get it down and gain some confidence. Build that confidence before you risk your money. That's why you can look below this video for the trade simulator link. It's by the CME. No credit cards. It's absolutely free. You can be up and running in about 5 minutes. All that information is in the text below the video. But this hopscotching, where you keep adding on indicators, every time you read about a new thing, you stack it on there and try it. And the result is you keep changing things so much that you can't learn to be consistent. And that's the way the human brain works, I promise you. And the third, and perhaps the number one biggest mistake, is making money as your first priority. Now, I know that sounds a little crazy, because that's why you're trading, so you can make money. But the catch-22 is this. The first thing you have to learn in trading is not to lose your money, so you can keep trading long enough that you can learn how to do it and do it successfully. And that's what we try to accomplish here on the channel and in the book in every way. Now, coming up next, I'm really excited about this Russell 2000 one contract trade that made what I think is a remarkable amount of money in a very short time and almost effortlessly in today's Trade of the Week. Stand by for that. Featured trade this week, I'm going to be using one of the Russell 2000 Micro Eminis. It trades at $5 a point. The trade date is 17th of June 2021. The market opens at 9:30, and for the next 2 hours, a little bit more actually, the market from 9:30 till 11:45 is definitely a downtrend for the day. And what I do not do on a downtrend day is buy something. So I'm going to go short one Russell 2000. Now, I went short this contract at a price of 2292.3, and I also entered a bracket order when I opened this trade because I wanted to put a stop up at 2296 at 3.7 points away, which is $18.50 up there is where my stop is at 2296. Now, one of the nice things about controlling risk on this trade, I'm only trading one contract, so each point is $5, of course. And I put the stop up there at 22.96. I saw about half an hour earlier. I'll highlight that in yellow for you. The top of the candlesticks, that upper shadow, tried to breach 22.96 2 or 3 times and didn't make it. So even though the trend is down, and that's what I'm aiming for this trade to do, is go down, the price go down and make me money because I'm short the contract. Now, if it does turn around, and it could, that's the risk you can't avoid. And so I just felt like 22.96 because of those previous candlesticks might be a good area. Plus, it's only $18.50 away. So that's the worst thing that can happen to me on the trade is I'll lose $18.50. 2 minutes into the trade now, it's 11:49 Eastern Time. And I'm going to go forward 2 more minutes here. So we're 4 minutes into the trade now. The time is 11:51. Look where it is, 22.89. So I've got some unrealized profit in this trade. I take out my Tastyworks mouse, and I'm going to drag that stop market order down and down. And the reason I'm going so slowly with it is that I notice the futures are still going down. and I don't quite know where to put it yet. This trade is really working in my favor now. 22.87, and I finally decide on the price of 22.92.3, and that sounds familiar because that's exactly where I shorted the contract. So now I've got effectively a free trade. The worst thing can happen now is I'm going to break even. And since I'm trading up at 22.87, that's about 5 points. I'm up about $25 in unrealized profits at the moment. So even though I can't lose any money from my account, I am risking my current unrealized profit, which is getting close to $30 now. So that is why I'm going to go over, pull out that magic Tastyworks mouse again, and I'm going to try and lower this stop and see how I can lock in some of those unrealized gains. So I'm still trading around 22.87. I have the mouse out, and the market's still going in my favor, which that's great. And I'm trying to decide where I want to put this stop here. And I'm trading 22.86, so I decide I'm going to go down to 22.89.50. Now moving up 2 more minutes in time. The length of the trade now 7 minutes. The time's 11:54. And I've got over $40 of unrealized gains here. I like to get paid for my work, so I pull out my Tastyworks mouse and I'm going to click and drag that stop market order down. And this time we're trading at 22.82 right now. That's the best so far. I think the drawdown on this trade's only been about $7, and that was in the very beginning. So now I'm moving the stop down to 22.86. And I really do love this click and drag feature with the mouse where you can move that stop down in Tastyworks. There's a link for our trade simulation program and also a link to find out more about Tastyworks in the text below this video. They're really a great brokerage company. They have terrific customer service, no robot numbers and any of that stuff. So I moved my stop down again now, this time to 22.85. And the reason I did that was it was trading 22.81 now, and I only moved it 1 point. That's $5. But if I saw it on the ground, I would pick it up. Would you? I bet you would. 22.85. Trading 22.81.20 now. So I'm using that click and drag stop again. I'm a Tastyworks affiliate, and my link is below, and if you decide you like to try Tastyworks, I appreciate you using the link. And that trade simulator I was talking about is by the Chicago Merc Exchange. You can be up and running in 5 minutes, no credit cards or anything. 22.84 is where my stop is now. Hey, we're going forward in time a little bit. 11 minutes into the trade. The time is 11:58. And I am amazed at this trade. I never thought that I would get this much juice out of it. 22.74, that's about $80 right there. And now I'm moving the stop down again. And I really had to work for it in this trade. 22.77.80 right now. And no trade lasts forever. And I'm just wondering when this one is going to come to an end. And you never know. By the way, on that Globex information, look for the link below in the text below the video. I put a Globex down there you can click on. It'll take you to a video I did some time ago that explains the Globex hours and how all that works. And you can help me out here. We use the like button as an indicator. If you want to see more videos like the one you're seeing today, hit the like button. It helps me try to stay on the right brainwave to make better videos for you. I'd appreciate that. Okay, we're rolling along with this trade. 22.72.5 down there. And now I'm going to be taking my stop way down to 22.74.40. And that's going to lock in $89.50 on this trade is the worst case scenario. Notice I did stay very, very close with that stop once I got over $75 or $80. That's the way to do it. Now we're about to hit the stop at 22.74.40. There it is right there. And it's time to do the numbers, which I always love to count the money. Trade duration about 13 minutes, profit $89.50, and the maximum drawdown pretty darn good. Only $7 was I in the hole, maximum at any time during the whole 13 minutes. And I think that happened the first couple of minutes of the trade. The maximum unrealized gain, about $100, and I captured $89.50. That's pretty good. And that's indicative of the fact that I did keep that stop pretty close behind it. Once I got over an unrealized gain of $70 or $80, I tend to do that because there's been too many times in my trading that I have not done that, and all of a sudden the trade backs off a little bit and half of my unrealized gains are gone, and then I have to try and hope and wish, and those are just lousy trading strategies. Sometimes you just take the money when you can. Now, in a minute, I'm going to show you how in this trade, like most of them, if you use the genius of hindsight, you can really beat yourself up badly. I could have made twice as much money on this trade if I had managed it differently. But that opportunity's gone. I'm very happy with the trade, and I'll just try and learn from what I see. Let me show you what I mean about the genius of hindsight. Here's the chart. I went and dug it back up from the files on record here. June 17th, 11:45. Now, I shorted at 11:47, right about here. And then it was almost exactly noon when I got out. In fact, I got out, let's see, 22.74.4 is right there. Now, you can see by the chart, and this is only with the genius of hindsight now, that 22.74, had I held on for a while, see, my MACD was telling me to still stay in the trade, but I was greedy and took the money. I don't regret it, you know. I'm just saying, this is the genius of hindsight at work. You can always beat yourself up, and it's a waste of time. But sometimes it's things you can learn by looking it back up again. And that goes into your memory bank there, and it goes into the file called experience, I suppose. Now look what happened after I got out at noon. That's at 22.74. And the thing goes all the way down here to 22.57.5. So I would have made a lot more money on this trade. I could have come out with something close to $185, $190 if I held it for another half hour, as the MACD was telling me to do. But you're always torn between things. I always say on the channel here, it's indicative of trading that you always have to make decisions before you have the perfect information to make the perfect decision. And that is why this is always going to happen to you. It never goes away. From now on, as long as you trade, things like this are going to happen. So I'm just telling you up front, you need to become a little bit of a philosopher in order to protect your confidence a little bit. But it does help to go back and look over a trade and consider some of the alternatives that you might have made. And who knows, maybe one day those good facts will creep into your brain and make you extra money. But there's no guarantee. Be sure you go down and look at the text below the video today. There's a lot of goodies down there. You got the trade simulator from CME. It's free, no credit cards, and it keeps a ledger for you. Look under, well, you'll see it. Just look down at the text. You can see the table of contents of my book on Amazon at the book tab. Information's there also on Tastyworks. If you're a beginner, I have two beginners playlist. Each has 4 10-minute videos, and they're free. Just look for beginners playlist below. So check down there. I think I left something out, but check down there and see what you can find that you can use that will save you money and keep you from losing money. I gotta say, I really enjoyed bringing that trade to you today. Sometimes I think about this kind of trading, and I probably shouldn't say it this way, it's like a video game, except Instead of dying, you lose money, and instead of conquering something, you make money. And I like that. I have a lot of fun doing this, and I hope you do too. If you can't enjoy it, it may not be for you, because it can be a little stressful at times. Be sure and hit the like button if you want to see another video like the one you watched today. That's how I tell what subjects to make future videos with. And also be sure and subscribe so you'll be notified of the new videos we put up each week. And thank you for joining today. I'm Don Singletary. I hope every day is a payday for you. And thank you.